While some people might watch this video and think, wow, you are terrible at grooming a horse, if the point was, can I get the horse brushed, can I pick out his feet, and can I get a saddle pad on him as quickly as possible, there are different ways to go about that. I like to say you can improve the connection with your horse in the time you already spend together. You don't need a whole entire new program. You really just need a mind shift. And if you've ever wondered how you can start doing this, in this video, I'm gonna work with Seren, who's a horse still pretty new to me, to begin creating more connection in something as simple as a grooming session. So stay tuned. In this video, you'll pick up some tips, tricks, and ideas to do this with your own horse at home, and it's really as simple as that. Welcome to Hope Horsemanship. I'm gonna take a series of videos that were done at the Akhal-Teke Center recently with Seren, and I'm gonna walk you through what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. There is a video introducing Seren and his backstory. So if you'd like to know a little more about this guy, you can go visit that video first and then come back and check in on where we are now. What I like about this particular footage with Seren is it shows how this way of thinking about connecting with the horse is a way of life. And if you begin to allow this to permeate all the little details of how you work with your horse, the changes actually are really subtle at first, but they compound. So many people consider working with their horse is like after they're in a workspace. But when you have a mindset shift like this, everything you do from showing up to the horse's living environment is based around the idea that the horse has choice every step of the way. This part of the video is after I brought Seren up to do some basic grooming, basic picking out his feet, and play around with the saddle pad. He's been on the farm a couple of months, but I'm only with him once a week for a short amount of time. And so we're still in a pretty new scenario between the two of us. And I just want to check in and see how is he with these little pieces of grooming, picking up his feet, being able to start with putting a saddle pad on him as we get ready to actually go with finding a saddle that works for him. And all of those pieces are going to give me information about where he is and where we are going forward. Now, one thing you'll notice in this video is I do not use cross ties. In fact, I purposely don't tie my horse at all for these things for the most part, because once again, I want the horse participating in what I'm doing. When I start the entire process like this, one piece at a time, when I finally get to the place where we're going to do the work, the quality and the partnership is already established at a higher starting point. So what you're gonna see as I start to work with him is he is not standing still to be brushed. He is distracted by the mares on one end, his buddies, the gelding behind him, and even a newborn foal and mom kind of to the other side. What I need is for him to be able to have distractions, still come back to me, do what I'm asking together, and cooperate with me, even in something as simple as being groomed. So every piece that I go through with Seren is going to encourage him to learn that I want him present with me, connected with me, and aware of and participating in what we're doing. So instead of putting him in a cross tie and brushing him off when he really might have his mind all over the place, but he is physically stuck, I'm not actually going to get a good picture of how his mind is functioning. Now, for me, I'm always considering where is this relationship going to go with what we can do together. And there's a potential that we could become endurance partners where he could actually start to be a horse that I compete in endurance. So right from the beginning, I want to know where is this horse's mind? How flexible is it? And can I bring him back? Because even though I'm just trying to get him to stand at the bed of my truck where I've got a brush basket, I'm actually thinking, if I was riding you right now and trying to get you in position to do something I need you to do, how capable are you to tuning in and working with me? Because it's the same conversation, it's just presented a little differently whether I'm on the ground or in the saddle. Now in the saddle, most of us know it's actually a little more challenging to get that communication through. So on the ground, I'm gonna have a better shot at it. So if I'm not able to get him to just stand quietly and be like, hey, what are we doing here? Which the answer is, I'm gonna brush you, can you just stand quietly? If I can't get that conversation working right now on the ground, then being in the saddle and saying, hey, I need you to wait here a minute or to do anything I'm asking you to do to communicate. If I can't get his mind in that conversation, then we're gonna be in trouble. So while I'm just checking out how well can he stand to be groomed, can I get his feet picked up, will he cooperate with me? All of these things for me are translating into eventually what it's gonna look like when I'm in the saddle trying to communicate with him. If we can create a common language right here on the ground, then I am gonna have a way better shot when I'm actually a little more vulnerable and have to use different means of communication, because when you're behind the horse, not in front in his eyesight, the way to communicate is a little more challenging to get that mutual understanding. So start it on the ground and get it so the horse knows, A, I am trying to communicate with you, so pay attention and give me a chance. So I need to establish that he can trust me to communicate with him and look to me to find out what do I want if he's ever in confusion, not just try to figure it out for himself and either panic or dance around, etc. While some people might watch this video and think, wow, you are terrible at grooming a horse, the point of it is I want that horse to begin to participate in the process. And this is the first time we're trying to do it, so it's messy. We're still trying to find how to connect with each other. I'm still looking to get him engaged mentally with me and to trust that I'm gonna lead him through, but he has to come in and connect and even pay attention that I might be asking something. Something I often do with horses is ask them to put themselves into a position for me to do the task at hand. So here I'm asking him, can you move up and line yourself into a position that I could brush you on that side? It's a little bit longer of a process, but I'm actually building a language between us here. This is a moment of, can you let go of that thought? And I always think of a time with Harry Whitney when I was working with Khaleesi and she was in the round pen and then sniffed a pile of poop. And Harry says, I would hope that you can become more important to this horse than a pile of poop. That is a moment I will never forget. And that little moment where he was checking out that poop pile obviously brought that to mind. This is starting to look better. Eventually, he is going to understand, and this process will connect us in all the things we do. Just imagine at some point you want to be able to line the horse up in a place where you can get on from a mounting block, the ground, or even a fence or rock or whatnot. This process is the beginning of that. So everything I do has forward thought into how it will be useful for us when we're doing real life things. But I think it would be a huge waste of time, again, to just tie a horse up and get the brushing done when we could build this right here today, and eventually it'll serve me really well in the arena, out on the trail, or wherever we go together. This footage is pretty messy. There's a lot of the horse coming in and out of understanding and being mentally connected, but I wanted to show this kind of uncut process so that you don't just see the finished product. And also, if you decide to try this at home with a horse who's not used to this, then it might look a little messy and it might take some time. I hope you'll have the patience to realize that it will be worth it and it'll make a big difference in the whole of what you do with your horse in the long term. But even for me, this takes just the time together to get them on the same page and to have the patience to walk it out. Personally, I do not like riding a horse who I can control and leverage physically, but whose mind is not in the habit of becoming present. And every time I work with a horse on the ground, I'm starting to think, where are we headed? Will he come present? And would I want to ride that horse? And this horse is starting to get there. Now that I have a little bit of focus from him, I just play with that a moment, just take a break in between grooming and see if I can guide him a little bit with that knot and bring him back. Good job. Now I'm going to look for I think a hoof pick next. By now, this will all look familiar. I just want him to stand in a quiet spot where I can reach down and check his feet. And as I reach down, what I want from the horse is just release your weight and give it to me. That wasn't too bad. I don't want a horse to hold their foot up and kind of have a tension in it because they're holding it. I want the horse to release the tension in that leg and that foot and let me have the ability to move it, flex it, put it where I want to put it. That is not to lean on it. So they need to support themselves and just allow that foot into my care. That's what I'm looking for, not for them to have to hold it in a certain place. There's the release, and now you can see he's mentally present enough to just stand while I go ahead and pick out that foot and set it back down, and he's still there at the end of it. This is what I want to build on and see happen more often. That's really nice. Now here we are with the other side, same process, just asking him to stand quietly. Not too bad. Now I just want him to release that foot to me. And that's pretty good right there. Good job, buddy. He's standing pretty well for me as I clean out that foot. And then you'll see here, I want him to let me set it down. Otherwise, he's holding tension in it. Now, it wasn't perfect, but I'm going to take it for today. Here, I give it one more try just to see if he'll give that foot to me. And that's a little better. Good job. Let's move to the hinds. Here it takes a moment for him to figure out what I'm doing, but that's a really nice release of that hoof. And then I'm going to clean it out really quickly. And here at the end, he gets off balance and pulls it back. But that's okay. We're going to spend a moment here to just try to get that same back foot picked up and set down just for in practice. And there it is. That's what I wanted. Good job, bud. Notice for the other side, I'm going to ask him to switch sides and not just walk over there. And this will look familiar as I'm working with him to get him to realize I want him to just stand quietly and let me pick that foot up. He picked it up a little on his own, more than I'd like eventually, but it's not a problem. We're going to work with what he's got and grow from there. But that's beautiful that he just let me set that foot down. And you see, I kind of went back to the picking up part because I want him to be able to just release that foot and let me pick it up. But that's exactly what I want right there, where I can set it down and he's just fine to leave it in place. The last part of our session today is going to be playing around with a big wool saddle pad just to see what tacking up might look like between the two of us in the way that I like to do it. So I let him check it out, smell it, get a sense of what this thing is before we get started. You will not be surprised to see I ask him to step forward to be in a position where I would go ahead and put that on him. And he is not totally comfortable with this, and that is okay. So we're just going to start playing around with it and asking him to stay involved in the process. This is pretty standard stuff here that I would think most people do with a horse when they're just trying to see where they're at with being saddled. That's a little anxiety right there coming out. It's okay, because we're going to work through it together. Something I've come to really appreciate about Seren is how willing he is to try to sort these things out, even if he's a little worried or has anxiety, and how quickly he's able to come back and partner. And I think that's a testament to the people who had him before he came back to the farm. They obviously really loved this horse and did a lot of good work with him. Again, I'm trying to get him reconnected. Good job. Before I go ahead and put that pad on him. And then I'm blocking him and asking him to stand and be okay with that pad just sitting on him. And then be able to connect with me while he's standing quietly with the pad sitting on him. It's a big ask for today. But he's really trying. His mind kind of going all over the place is a way to just not be present in what's happening, but I want him to know if he does show up and be present in what's happening, he's going to find it's actually okay, and we're not going to go any farther in this process than he can handle in any given situation. So that is a great place to end. I just really enjoy this guy. Good work today, buddy. I hope you enjoyed this video and got some new ideas to work with your horse on better connection at home. Contact me at Jaime@HopeHorsemanship.com, and I'd love to have you join our virtual community. So until then, see you next time and have a great week.